How we doing, traders? Welcome to Money Mitch. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what moved today. As you guys can see, everything in the green. We're going to talk about these stocks. If you got one to take a look at, stay tuned. You guys can go ahead and throw it in the chat.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
What's going on? How we doing out there? Yes, you're joining Money Mitch here. We're going to take a look at some stocks. I got my Christmas tree in the back. Let's go ahead. Let's get this started. Let's see what we're seeing in the market, and let's take a look. All right. Yes, definitely out there. Let's take a look at the overall market. I was taking a look at HUT there. You guys saw my trade there. I wanted to talk to you guys about that, but let's keep going. Damn, COVID stocks again, says Easy Mike. Hurts. Easy at it again. Let's keep it going. Maddie in the house. Antonio Miller sending some love from Sacramento. Hey, I got to get out there. Definitely. Woohoo. Let's go ahead. Smash that like. Let's keep it going. What's up, Mitch? You have to have a new intro in the works. Yeah, I'm going to definitely have it. One day you're just going to see the bull market just changed now. All right. Neville in the house from Miramar. Throwback. Let's go. Ego in the house. Zed. What's up? What's up? All right, let's go ahead. Easy wants me to take a look at NFTZ. I'll definitely take a look at that at the end. Tiny in the house and Jim. Let's go. All right, so SPY overall, look at that rip through 460 today. It actually was above the 460 in the pre-market. That should have gave us a sign that we were definitely in the bullish. We're wondering if we were going to flip right there at the gates, but what did we do? We just pushed on up. And then right here towards the close, we start pulling back and then now push right back on up. This is why you got to definitely pay attention to kind of the market's move right now. I definitely think it's kind of one of those environments right now where it's not really a swing trader environment. I think it's more of a day trader environment, unless you were calling the bottom maybe yesterday. And I mean, if you did that, I mean, give me the thumbs up and let me know in the chat, because I know I didn't get that flip there. Let's keep going. Raul in the house. What's up, man? All right, let's go. We need to have a blowfish market. Let's go ahead and see what happened in the SPY. What were some of the biggest movers here? So you can take a look. FTNT, not bad, 8% move. AZO, this was actually mentioned to me by a kind of trader that was talking. He was saying, what about maybe auto parts going into next year with inflation going higher? And man, AutoZone, look at this little push there. 7% push in AutoZone, really getting that lift. And as you guys can see, it almost broke through that zero line on the taking money flow. We'll see if AZO can keep moving. NVIDIA, of course, moving on up there, almost 8%. Now pushing up there. FANG getting on up there. You know, energy really pushing on up. This is one to keep on mind. Now it just broke through that 114. Could continue making that lift. All right, let's go through the Qs. Let's see what we see on the Qs. All right, so Qs are pushing up towards that 400. Remember how important that 400 was. If we can get through that 400, we can start seeing a big lift in some of these tech stocks. The only thing that I see can turn us around is, of course, maybe some interest rate talks or inflation coming in high. But really, we're pushing on up back there. And you got some stocks that made some move today. Team pushing back. That's a software and application stock. PDD having a good day, 12% in PDD. We'll take a look at this one, as a lot of the Chinese names have been struggling, like Baba and JD, but we'll see. Definitely a good day there for PDD. All right, let's go back to the Qs here and see what moved. You also have NVIDIA, of course, Marvel. Look at this one. Marvel is kind of been sleeping here. Not many people talking about it, but definitely making a big move on up. It gapped up and didn't even test back down. That's a good sign that some of these semiconductor stocks are doing great. Let's take a look at what moved the best today. Was data storage, but really I only have one stock in there, so that's why you can kind of see that little pushback on QMCO. But really, I wouldn't recommend that. Let's keep going to the next one. You got semiconductors, equipments, and then right below it, you got semiconductors. There's a reason why this is there, is because these were the strongest movers today. And so we're going to take a look at some of these. And of course, you can take a look some of these like SIMO. Look at that one, from 77 up to 88 today. Definitely a big rip. And when this stock tends to rip, it pulls back the next couple of days. So just be careful. As you can see that on the chart, after a rip, it has a tendency of doing a fast pullback, but definitely a good push there on SIMO. AOSL here trying to push through 55. EBON coming back there. You got MRAM. This one's an interesting one. Definitely doing a little bit of a setup here on the semiconductor. So if you're seeing this strength going into tomorrow and we don't see that turnaround in the Qs, you could take a look at this MRAM to try to get on up there to the 13 and 14s for you guys that like to trade the cheaper names. All right, catching up with the chat. What's up? What's up? Buy the Mitch stock. Yeah, the match. Mitch, where did the Royal Guard costume go? I actually have it here to the left, Shelly. I just put it away. You know, it got a little warm. I'll tell you that. Love the Christmas tree. Hey, from Palm Beach. I'm working outside with no shirt. Hey, I used to be a Florida guy myself, so I know that you're enjoying it. Hey, enjoy that weather. I'm actually visiting Florida in about a week or so for my birthday on the 18th. So let's keep it going, guys. Monday being mentioned in the chat, and backs. That one's a good one to definitely take a look at. So there's a lot of stocks being mentioned. We're going to keep it going. Mitch for president. No, I don't know about president, but if we could get the EV goes or the EV technology, evolve technology into all the schools, then if we could do that, then call me a president. I would love that for that to happen. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of these other trades. So if we look here, remember what I talked about yesterday. So yesterday I said, what was my industry to watch in tech? I wanted to see how the infrastructure software stocks came back, because we saw this bottoming and we didn't want to see a crackdown through that. We wanted to get it back through the trend line. And that's what we have, this long-term trend line that we broke. We need to get it back above here. So what are some of these stocks? So what we did was we called out the highest capitalization stocks in that, which were, of course, Microsoft and Adobe. So these were the stocks that I was saying, if we had a bullish day in those, I was going to expect to have a bullish day. And as you can see, Microsoft and Adobe had a good day. Adobe up actually almost 5%. Oracle getting a nice bounce back, so keep your eyes on that one to see if it flushes through. And Square also getting a pushback. We'll see if these can hold their gains after you saw PayPal also make a nice little push off the bottom there. Visa make a push off the bottom, and we'll see if these can hold on. MA also, MasterCard starting to get back up there towards the 340s. We'll see if these kind of payment stocks have come back into favor. All right, let's go ahead. The top 5 decliners being called out by Easy Mike, IMPP, ISIG, AVAV, and CBX. Also, you got HQY there. IMPP, I didn't know that one, but I did know ISIG. ISIG, we talked about this one on Money Mitch yesterday. I wanted to see if this one could hold kind of the push there, but you could see it right out the gates. It kind of just really came down. I'm going to actually be looking for this one to kind of make an inside day and rip tomorrow easy. So who knows, maybe this one actually pushes on up tomorrow. I will be definitely looking for it to get back above 11. 11 is going to be an important price point. It's actually coming down towards the 1050 right now. But as you can see, it kind of created this inverted head and shoulders here. We'll see if we can get a push back through 11. That's the only way I'm going to take a look at it tomorrow. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of these, maybe these bigger stocks that I was paying attention to. What would happen? Tesla going sideways, big doji day. So if this cracks down through 1,000 tomorrow, I mean, yes, this could be a really hard downturn. Right now, it's kind of up and down. I'm not sure if it's going to keep going up or down the market right now. I can tell you right now, there's not many times, guys, you guys will see me a little bit stumped on what direction the market is. Right now, I'm kind of stumped. And so what I'm trying to do is not take swing trades right now. Yeah, day trades, you can take some quick trades right now, get them in and out. But for what I'm trying to look forward is what's going to happen going into next year, because that's what really matters to me. I'm starting to look forward into next year, and I'm looking at how I'm going to profit going into 2022. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look. All right, healthcare. Look at that bounce back there. We're going to take a look there if these healthcare stocks can hold. Definitely biotech leading the day today. Some of these stocks making big moves. NVAX up 28%. VAXX up 20%. A lot of these up 20%. Be careful. These can not continue, but it could also kind of catch that bid. We did talk about this one yesterday's. We talked about this one on live trading, this LEEV. I'm going to watch to see if this one can break out through 6 tomorrow. But that's where I would want to see it. But this one has been on the downturn. There's a lot of stocks here. Let's take a look at by capitalization, some of the bigger stocks and how they did. So NVO, you can see here, really pushing on up. Nice little pattern, pushed off the VWAP there. Nice little VWAP touch there. Just touch VWAP. And then shot right back off. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on these biotech names. AMGN, Moderna also pushing on up. Of course, this was there was some release of news that the vaccines are being somewhat effective towards Omicron. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's keep going. What other ones moved today? Basic materials. What did we have on the top side? Industrial metals and materials. So my favorite two in there are going to be PLL. So I'm looking for this one to continue through 60. We'll see if that one, it did catch that bottom yesterday. So we're going to look for it to continue on through. Maybe it gets to 65 and then through 70. I do like this chart, guys. I can tell you guys weekly looks really nice set up. We can actually pull this support up towards this 52.26. And we're going to look for it to get on up here towards the 70. I do think PLL is a good, at least if there's some charts that I would take maybe a swing trade. This is kind of more along a chart that I would take a bigger trade on. All right, so MP, I do like this one also. It did try to get through that 44, rejected down towards the 40. Now I just needed to hold 40 on pullback. Let's take a look at the hourly chart and see what we're seeing there. We're seeing kind of this trend downwards. We're going to look to push off that 40, not test down here towards the 40, because if we break that 40, we're not going to be able to look that bullish. We're going to look for a push through 45 tomorrow. That's MP Materials. All right, let's go ahead. We opened a Jumaya trade today with a tight stop. Oh, definitely. I'll definitely take a look at Jumaya. I know it was bouncing and it was pushing on up. The question is, was that more of a dead cat rally? At least from what I can see on the hourly, you still got to break out of this pattern right here. So you're kind of holding here. It's trying to get on up there towards 14. We want to see it get to 14 tomorrow, not break down towards the 12. If not, it could be kind of more of a dead cat rally here. Definitely, you could kind of draw a trend line here and see that, hey, you did pop out of this. I mean, but the question is, can we hold some gains up here? We'll see if we get up there. Don't make me laugh, bitch. We'll see. It's Jumaya, you know. This was a call out by was it the guy from Citron? I know he called this one long. I mean, it is an e-commerce stock, you know. It's trying to get off the floor. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep going, guys. What are some other areas to take a look at? Specialty retail doing well today. What are some stocks there that did well? Was that Jumaya? You also had data, PDD. Playboy is the one that I'd call out to keep an eye out. It does look interesting and wants to hold these pullbacks. It tried to get through 40 before, so that's what I want to see. I want to see it get through 40s and get up there to 45. If not, this one could head back down towards 20. And definitely Playboy does have, a lot going on right now. They're trying to do a new platform. They have kind of the NFTs going for them. They still have a bunch of areas where they could still go into. We'll see what happens with Playboy. And another thing to watch is they do a lot of these wellness products that could get bought into the holiday season. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Bark also pushing back for Bark. I'd give Rover. I do like this one. A lot of times I'd look for maybe some SPAC plays to keep bringing on up. For me, Rover is one of my favorite plays. I've used their service plenty of times, but maybe that's why I'm a little biased towards them. I do think this one could keep coming on up towards 14. Did catch a nice bid, and we're going to look for it to continue pushing on up there. 12 is going to be the alert for tomorrow. I'll be watching Rover to see if it can continue making moves. All right, Play after hours reported earnings. Let's take a look at Play here. Dave and Buster's, a good day to report earnings, right? If you report some good earnings with the market pushing on up, you should get that lift. Look at Play starting to push on up there. We'd look for maybe a pullback towards 34. I did do that little fake out move down. So making sure that there's kind of there's probably was some wording that you guys should pay attention to on the earnings, because the algos actually knocked it down really quickly, then picked it right back up. Mitch Wartsoff, I hope you're enjoying this. If there's any specific question you have, make sure you throw it up in the chat. S just reported earnings. What do you think about the entry there? Let's take a look there. So Sentinel One. Let me pull the earnings up. I have the earnings I can pull up right above me. So Sentinel One. Let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so it looks like we're seeing sales. Looks like we got a miss here. Sentinel One Q3 earnings per share. Here, I'll put it up on the screen for you guys since I'm talking about this stock out of the earnings here. So this is the earnings here. They missed looks on EPS. Estimate was 18 cents loss. They actually lost 26 cents. The sales, they also looks like they got a beat there. They were at 56.02 and they beat a 49.57 million. So a beat on sales, a miss on earnings per share. That's why you're kind of seeing that choppy action right now. We'll see what happens with that one. And since I already mentioned it, let's go back towards that other one, which was let's go to Play. What were the Play numbers? Just want to at least give those numbers out since I did talk about the stock here. All right, guys, we got a 419 in the next 10 minutes. I'm going to start going through the stocks that you guys want to cover. So start throwing those stocks up in the chat, and I'll get right into those. All right, so Play making that nice move. Let's see what their earnings were here. Looking for it. There it is. Looks like the earnings per share were 2 cents, not comparable to the 12 cents estimate. Sales actually were at 318 and missed. This is how the interesting part. This one actually missed on a lot of the numbers, but it's going up. That's the interesting part about earnings. I mean, a lot of the earnings is going to have to, I think, to play more about the market environment also that you're in. You're seeing Play continue that run, even though it didn't have the best earnings. That's probably why you saw this kind of down move. It was a hard down move right there by the algos. They were probably reading the report, and the algos were looking at it bearish, and it kind of just pushed on up. I'm sure Triple D out there is loving this. All right, S, like the company, very expensive at the price to sales ratio. Jay says about S. All right, Play is a beat. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't look like a beat there. I mean, unless that was a 12-cent loss estimate, and I just don't have it on right there, right? But, yeah, it looks like Q3 earnings per share were at 2 cents. So it looks like the only thing that I'm seeing is a comparable sales to be slightly positive versus the Q4 of 2019. So that's like kind of the positive news that I'm seeing there. Also, I don't see any guidance change or anything like that mentioned by Play here. All right, let's keep going. Let's get through some of these stocks that you guys want to take a look at. I'm going to pull this banner down, go through some of those stocks. You guys throw it on up there. Let's keep this going. Mitch, if you were thinking of financials, what are your thoughts on some? Yeah, definitely, Jim. I actually was thinking about some of these. I didn't want to get into it because I want to save some time for you guys. But since you mentioned it, Jim, the two plays I'd be looking at are Goldman Sachs through 400. We actually just got through here. Looks like in the after hours, I was going to talk about this 400 price point, and it actually came down towards 398. I was saying look for that today. Looks like we're already above there in after hours. So definitely this is what I'm going to be looking at, because I do think that you're going to get financials to start moving. If we do get an interest rate hike, these are going to be looking good into next year. Another thing that happens a lot is these stocks get an outlook, right? A lot of these banks are going to probably put out positive notes for themselves looking upwards into these. And you're going to get a lot of analysts to look at stocks into 2022, and they're going to think interest rates rising. Why not look at financials? So Goldman Sachs is one I'd definitely pay attention to. I'd be looking for a nice push on up there. Where could we get on up towards the resistance? I say 415. That's the next stop. And if we get through there, 450s. One thing that is helping is you're seeing the money flow was actually above in the positive, cracked the low, right back to the positives there. Also, RSI kind of going sideways, coming down towards a level of 33 and then pushing back. Let's see how the RSI could really start pushing. And we'll definitely pay attention also to the money flow here that's hanging out towards the top, showing you that there is some buying. We just don't want to see it come down towards these lows down here. We want to see it come back towards that 80 and then test back up there towards above 80s to give you that next drive in Goldman Sachs. BAC is another one that I'd watch. Why? Because the daily lows are all near each other. You see how these lows are all near each other? I do think you could bottom there and then start pushing back. So look for this kind of reversal through 45 tomorrow. Definitely holding the support here of like around 43.80s. You can see how you broke there a couple times. You want to see this start pushing back on up there, trying to take out 47 again. You do have a gap down here. So we're going to try to fill this gap. That's what I'd be looking for. Do we get this gap fill to come on up here into this area? We'll see if we can continue making that drive on up BAC. All right, looks like I got a nice super sticker. I'm not sure what that was or what kind of money that was, but regardless, it's a super sticker. So if you want a stock covered, Tiachi, definitely throw it in the chat. I'll cover it. Spoos and Qs pushing at all-time highs. Yeah, Jay, it still looks positive out there, even though you never know what could happen. All right, guys, stay tuned for a webinar with the pro options trader, Nick Shaheen, coming on up. If you guys like options after this, you guys can watch a nice webinar. All right, guys, about 6 minutes left. I got 5 shares in the video. Should I sell them and use the money to buy 60 shares of MTTR instead? That's an interesting trade there. I'm not going to give you exactly the financial advice here. I wanted you to make sure I'm not trying to give you financial advice, but I will give you what I see out there. After hours, not all-time highs. Thank you. Sorry about that, Jay. I didn't catch your comment right. All right, there you go. Let's take a look. NVDA. All right, so NVIDIA pushing on up here, and you're looking to sell some of NVIDIA to pick up MTTR. Let's take a look at MTTR because, I mean, we got to take a look at that too. So you're talking about Matterport. So you're trying to get a stock that is on a pullback corrective phase into a stock like NVIDIA that looks like it's trying to take out the resistance here and break out through 350. I personally would try to stay with the stock that looks stronger, which to me is NVIDIA. But that's up to you. It really is up to you in diversifying, because there's nothing wrong with taking some profit maybe in this trade and then looking to get another trade and start setting on up. Diversification, never wrong. But I do like NVIDIA right here. I do think it could, as long as we keep this push that we're seeing in the semiconductors, which we are getting a nice push, we could take out that 350, and I wouldn't want to miss out on that move. Yeah, this makes total sense, boys. Let's keep it going. Let's go. Mitch, just listening to Bloomberg, they mentioned Chinese stocks might be a good idea again. Made a ton off of Futu when it was at 100. It's looking good to me now. What do you think? Says Dan. Let's take a look at that. And that's an actual really good conversation, because the Chinese stocks, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to make that decision right now. You can look at KWeb. for some of these kind of e-commerce China stocks. They've been doing really bad. I kind of drew this square for myself and was waiting for us to get back above here. And you can see we actually cracked that on the low side. So for right now, it's kind of holding on sideways. But look how this was a huge bear kind of chart right here. You can see the head and shoulders here, left shoulder, right shoulder. Um, it was a really bad pattern here. Head and shoulders pattern here. You could definitely see how this head and shoulders was showing up there. And that's when we started breaking down. The question is, can we get that reversal look? We have 2 candles here to really go off of. I would look for the next candle to really close above the lows. So we need to see higher lows, right? KWeb had here a higher low of 39.31, and now you have 42.20. Let's take a look at some of these Chinese stocks that you wanted to take a look at. So Futu, let's take a look. Same thing. So higher lows. So you got higher lows, you got higher lows, higher lows. Let's see if we can continue that trend through 50 and then get this into the green. You're seeing it bounce off the MFI at the bottom here, showing you that the money is starting to come back in. But the question is it really going to make it come back roaring? You did retrace the full 100% move that you see here. So one thing that you have to keep in mind is that if you're trying to get the stock back into this area, I think you're trying to call a bottom here. And normally when we hold patterns, we want to hold in that quadrant. We don't want to ever retrace the full 100% of the move here. So to me, it's not that trend that it's trying to get back into. It's just trying to catch that bottom here, kind of monthly, weekly support. We'll see if it catches that. I think it still needs to get above 50 strong for me to get a little bit excited about it. But it's always up to you, Dan. Wish you the best. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. I got about 1 minute left. Looks like I can get into one more here. Play a small starter on MTTR. Yeah, you can never be wrong with that, really. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't look that bad, but hey, we'll see. While they almost look the same, yeah, there's a reason why, Dan. So try to use a couple of them. Maybe you look for one to be a leading indicator, and then you look for the laggard play versus trying to jump into the trend too early. That's just what I would do. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Same advice for Tiger as Futu. Yeah, I would say the same advice. Yeah, look at that. Same looking charts, right? I mean, that's what they are. All right, let's keep going. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Dan. Let's keep going, guys. What else is on your mind? I need one more big stock to cover here. ATVI is probably going to be it. Is this starting to turn? And let's take a look here. So ATVI, let's take a look. If we can see here, I'm going to actually pull up the RSI here a little bit bigger so that we can see if we're seeing kind of bottoming action. So one of the things that I talked about on live trading today was when we're looking at the RSI, we're looking for extreme price points at the top and extreme at the bottom. Okay, so now let's go ahead and draw that out. You can see extreme on the downside about 1242 and extreme on the upside probably up here towards even 90s where we get on up there. So let's take a look here and what we're seeing. So what are we seeing is that the stock was actually trending on upwards, then pulled on back, got below that extreme 12 line. So that 12 line is very important. Now you're starting to get below that, and we broke below that right here in this period. So one of the things that I'd keep on watch from this price point now is, do we start getting the money flows to point to the upside? This one's an intraday one. The check-in money flow, this one's more for intraday. You could see it at 17 and going on a downtrend. I would pull back a little bit here, see if you're seeing kind of a trend, and you can tell that we kind of tipped here and we didn't get back up there. We actually come in towards the low here. So you got to look to see the extremes on the money flow here and the check-in money flow. So that actually shows you down towards this 0.2. Look for it to catch there and then come back above the zero line. Zero line is very important to show us that it is bullish on the trend. right now it's still bearish on the trend. One thing that does help though is you're seeing the money flow down here, and it is starting to catch that bottom, right? And so one thing that you want to see if you're looking for price confirmation of a dip, you're looking for a bounced off the money flow, off the extreme there, coming on up, showing you price confirmation. Now, if the next candle is green, we want to keep going up. If the next candle is red, you want to see a pullback to that line. And then with the next green candle up past those levels to show you that the trend is changing and money is flowing in. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. We're at 4:32. I went a little bit extra. So if you guys can do me the favor, please smash that like and support me as I support you guys. I'm going to always cover the stocks like we do right now on Money Mitch. We take a look at the sectors, what's hot, what's not. We always take a look at the market. We're trying to catch the story right now. I mean, there's a lot out there. CPI numbers coming this Friday. Fed meeting next week. We don't know where the market's heading right now. That's why I'm going to say it's more of a day traders market out there. So you swing traders, be careful. I wish you guys the best, and we'll see you next time. Smash that like and keep it going. Money Mitch, guys. Up next, you got Nick Shaheen, guys. Go to learn some options. If you're an options person, or maybe you want to start dipping your toes, I definitely tell you, check out Nick Shaheen.